This episode of Earl Grey is brought to you by Audible.com, offering more than 180,000 titles for smartphone, tablet, and desktop. To get a free audiobook of your choice and help Trek FM at the same time, visit audibletrial.com/trekfm. And also by Enterprise in Space, an international program of the nonprofit National Space Society. Find out how you can help science and education and become a virtual crew member aboard the NSS Enterprise Orbiter by visiting enterpriseinspace.org.
This is Dwight Schultz. I played Reginald Barclay, otherwise known as Broccoli, on Star Trek Next Generation and Voyager. You're listening to Trek FM.
Tea Earl Grey hot.
Welcome to another cup of Earl Grey, Trek FM's dedicated podcast to the next generation. I am your gracious host, Richard Marquez, and today, unfortunately, Amy is not with us. She is on vacation, enjoying the fruits of Europe, and that's great. You know, she's probably going to visit Picard's Vineyard or something like that. So, Amy is away, but she will be back at a later date. But as always, Justin is here with me. How are you today, Justin?
I'm doing well. Don't scare people. Amy will be back next week, not at some unspecified later date.
Oh, well, we could have done like a to be continued. Dun dun dun. That's okay. Yes, not to lose our listeners all of a sudden because Amy's not here.
Well, they listen for everyone. But anyway, great to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Richard.
Yeah. Also, joined with me is co-host of Warp 5 and The Edge, Patrick Devlin. How are you today, Patrick?
I'm good. It's been a while since I've been on Earl Grey, and the last time I was, it was actually with you two doing a commentary as well. So this should be fun.
It was.
We were due.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was months ago.
It was months ago. We need to catch up. For today's show, Patrick wanted to talk about Beverly Crusher, so we'll be doing a commentary of the 6th season episode, Suspicions. But before we do, Patrick, why did you choose this episode?
Okay, so the reason why I picked this was I wanted to do something about Beverly Crusher, and the main reason is my daughter is actually named after Beverly Crusher. So my daughter's name is Beverly, and we got the idea, me and my wife, because we couldn't agree on the name at all, and we were playing a Star Trek card game. I dropped down the Beverly Crusher card and said, that's the name our daughter should be. And ironically, my wife agreed.
What was the card game?
It's the Star Trek deck builder.
Nice. Nice.
I have all of them, but obviously it was one of the two TNG ones, but I have them mixed together, so I don't know which deck it was out of originally.
You should get it framed.
Well, actually, so we met Beverly Crusher at the Mission New York for the 50th, and Gates McFadden signed the autograph to Beverly, love Beverly Crusher, and then Gates McFadden, which was pretty cool.
Very nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
so Beverly
cool.
got to meet Beverly, and they had a great time.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's a great story.
And, that's an additional way for parents who are expecting children to choose their child's name.
Yeah, throw cards at each other and whatever sticks.
Especially Star Trek cards.
Yes.
So if it's Worf, they should call them Worf?
Hey.
Sure.
You win some, you lose some.
Oh, imagine if you had a child named Wesley, Richard.
Just going to keep throwing
Way to
cards
give me the heebie-jeebies.
Anyway, before Richard leaves... Yeah, so today we'll be doing a commentary of the 6th season episode, Suspicions. For commentaries, you can follow along with the episode, whether you're watching it on Netflix or Blu-ray, DVD, CBS All Access, however you might be watching the episode, you can follow along. But don't worry if you're not following along with the episode. I think as long as you've seen it before, you'll be able to follow along just fine. That's usually what I do. I'm just kind of listening in the car or when I'm doing work or whatever and listen to the commentary. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. We'll give you a countdown in just a moment here before we start the commentary. All right, listeners, so we're going to get started here in 3, 2, 1, play. There is our beautiful Enterprise D. And starts with Beverly. I think there's not many episodes that start with Beverly Crusher. I think The Host is one of them, where she's kissing the Trill Odan in the turbolift, but not too many, so makes it clear there's going to be a Beverly episode from the beginning.
Yeah.
Why would they have apples on the table?
Why not?
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Why not? They don't have apples in the future? She replicated some, and it looks nice.
They don't put them on tables anymore?
I guess.
I mean, if you go to my dining room, there's apples on my table right now.
Yeah, but we're not in the 24th century.
Yeah, well,
I'm sure they'll have more. So Guinan comes in to see Crusher. This is actually Guinan's last appearance before Generations. For some reason, she wasn't in season 7 at all. But I always like seeing Guinan drop by.
Yeah, Guinan was a great character. I wish they would have used her more, but they didn't.
It had to be whenever she was available. She was pretty busy. I think it's amazing she was on 28 episodes or something like that.
She actually just made it into the Disney Hall of Fame thing, honorary.
something.
No, listeners, do not skip the intro.
Yeah, if you click skip intro on Netflix, you're going to be offset from where we are. So We're watching the intro right now, which I always love seeing.
Is this the old or is this the new?
This
with
is
the
season. Oh, this is the remastered. I think I have it set for HD on Netflix. So
there you go.
The planets look really good. The ship looks really great. So
that's not the Enterprise I know. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's not the NX-01 that you talk about all the time.
No, it's
on
not.
Warp 5.
This one's a lot bigger.
Yeah,
FYI.
wow, amazingly big. I put like 40 of mine in there. In
Ours
the
is
Sorcerer
the Hilton.
alone. Yeah, mine actually did go to war and stuff, though. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true. But didn't have a big season-long war in the Next Generation. Although the Cardassian War was taking place somehow, and you didn't really know about it for a while.
Yeah, just completely ignored.
Maybe they were doing war missions in between episodes. Who knows?
So, Gates McFadden as Beverly Crusher. So I watched this episode ahead of time just to refresh my memory on it, and even though it's not necessary at all in the commentary, but it really annoys me that Troy's not actually in this episode a lot.
Why is that?
Wouldn't it make sense when she's trying to find out who's lying to drag Troy along with her?
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean,
but wouldn't that that would take away from Beverly?
It would, but it would make sense.
Come on, you love Beverly. You want more Beverly.
You're right, episode. I do. But we could have had both.
Wait. Are you trying to make up for Amy right now?
Yes. I must be channeling Amy.
All the way from Germany to
New York.
So we're back to Guinan and Beverly Crusher, just talking about, I guess at this point, our career's in danger because of whatever she did. And I don't know if it happens too often on TNG that you see what's going on and then there's a flashback that's going to happen to what happened before. But I like when they do that. Is.
I like the way they used it in this episode, though, because the whole episode isn't a flashback.
Mm-hmm. Except I think toward the end, then it goes forward a little bit. But
right,
a lot
it does.
of it is,
But that's what I mean. Like it's not full. At some point, the story catches back up to what's happening, quote unquote, now, which is awesome.
Right. So you can always jump backwards and forward in the story. So like you're telling a story to someone. Yeah.
Yeah. And how about Guinan's technique here? I mean, having seen the episode before, we know that she comes in and says something about having tennis elbow, and then at the end it's like, I don't play tennis. Yeah. That was just an excuse.
Yeah, but if I was Crusher, I'd be like, man, you know how many credits I used to make this stupid racket for you?
Credits?
Well, I was going to say, she has to recharge her regenerator or whatever.
Right, like, she did research to find the best racket for someone with tennis elbow.
Yep. So, starting to tell the story of what happened with all the metaphasic shielding. I mean, I love this episode, but it does feel a little weird that she read this paper by this Ferengi scientist, and she wants to bring these scientists on board to investigate the shielding. It doesn't really have to do with medicine, but I mean, it's cool she's doing it.
I was just about to say the same thing. Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. What is she doing? Well, I'm not saying she shouldn't be, but what is she doing reading about metaphasic shielding when there's probably all those papers about medicine out there right now?
Yeah, it is weird. And even if she did read it out of a hobby, shouldn't be her call to bring them, right?
You're thinking, Patrick.
Like she still have to be like, hey, look, I read this paper. It's cool. You should check it out and see if we should bring them here.
Yeah. But then again, if she did say that to Picard, maybe he was like, "Oh, maybe you should bring them all and do it as a."
I want to point out while
special
she's here. So the Klingon Korak, do you know who plays her? It's Trisha O'Neill, who played Captain Rachel Garrett on yesterday's Enterprise.
Huh. That's interesting.
I don't think I realized that until I looked it up. It's the same person.
No, I don't think I realized it either. Huh.
Yeah, but I think this is cool. You know, there's a Klingon scientist, which when do you ever see that? A Ferengi scientist, you've never seen that before. This other species, Takaran, which you don't know much about at the beginning. I like that there's all these different species that are together trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah, the only thing I know about the Takaran is I want to strangle him before I even know how this ends.
When you saw it the
first
first time,
look so hostile.
He just looks really arrogant.
Maybe that's just a feature of his. Maybe that's a feature of his species. I mean, you could say Tellarites are really argumentative. You want to strangle them just because of that?
Possibly.
Okay. But I mean, like having Rega as the Ferengi scientist is really cool because pretty much up to this point in TNG, Ferengi were just all about profit and deception and all the plans that they had, and he was the first one that was different than that. And I feel like that.
Well, yeah.
And I wonder if there was an influence somewhat, because DS9 had started a little bit before then. You get some more nuanced Ferengi characters there.
Well, it's the same thing with Klingons too. I mean, really, this is like one of the very first ones we see that's outside of warrior class besides Commander.
I'm gonna say it's really not like before this Klingon scientist. I don't know if we'd seen something like that.
I don't remember. Yeah.
I don't think we did.
But I think we do a little bit after that, maybe an Enterprise. But
oh yeah, definitely yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, so they're breaking some interesting boundaries and having them together.
Yeah, because like you said, like in Enterprise, we do see that they're not just war class, and they make like a big deal of that. But it really it all stems from this breaking point, where they start doing things other than just being warrior class Klingons. It is cool with the Ferengi because he does make mention of it later that I know you get it, I get it. They don't trust me because I'm Ferengi. And most Ferengis just want to make money, basically. So,
can you blame him?
No, but even
his clothing is surpringly understated for a Ferengi, isn't it?
It really is.
It's just like, I'm just going to wear some muted colors.
But even being a scientist like that, that wouldn't surprise me so much because you can make a lot of money in the universe if you figured this thing out.
Yeah, with your invention, if you're selling it to species that can pay for it, sure.
It is a remarkable opportunity. I've studied your data, Dr. Rega.
That guy's coloring is interesting. The Takaran, it's like bluish, greenish, kind of.
Yeah.
Michael Westmore was doing something interesting that week. I mean, did something interesting every week, but it was a new thing that was a little bit different.
I want to know how that relationship works.
Which one, the human and the Vulcan?
Yeah, I want to know how that relationship works.
How does Amanda and Sarek work? I mean,
right,
I
want to see that one too, but I still want to see it.
Well, I mean, like Amanda and Sarek, for example, they probably explore it more in the novels, but it's just. I don't know.
I mean, is she the dominant one, and he's, or is he?
I don't know if you can.
I just go with yes,
like that, but
go with yes,
yes, absolutely. Well, she's definitely. I mean, I don't know. They show a scene where they're both arguing with Crusher later. We'll get into that when we get there, but it seems like she's just kind of the dominant one in the relationship at that point, and then he jumps in and she doesn't say anything for a while, so it's a little confusing.
A Ferengi that's grateful. Thank you, Doctor.
Is that a Cardassian pad?
That looked like it.
Oh, I didn't notice that fly by.
Yeah, there was two.
There's two
Federation
pads,
ones,
and then there was a triangular one.
Yeah,
definitely Cardassian colors.
It could be they just borrowed one from the DS9 set that week.
Could it have been Ferengi too?
I mean, but the Ferengi trade a lot. Maybe they liked the Cardassian pad.
Well, wouldn't he take it with him?
I don't know.
They're going back there.
You're asking a question I never thought about before.
Technology. Many scientists have tried to develop it. It's only natural that there would be.
You would think he'd be able to afford braces as a.
I was just gonna say you would think someone would figure out how to make money being a dentist in the frame.
They just have different dental values, kind of like Klingons do. I mean,
well, they sharpen their teeth,
but they sharpen their teeth, but they're all just like crooked and odd, and they seem really to like weird. That.
Well, it has to do with the way they were created anyway. Their purpose wasn't originally to be profit mongers, so.
It was to be like the new scary baddie in season 1.
Yeah, they were
right?
going to be the new Klingons, and then that all fell by the
Then,
wayside
then
real
after
quick.
the last outpost, it was like, no, that's not going to work.
They're tiny people.
Well, I mean, just because they're shorter doesn't mean they. But it's more that they were just kind of just ridiculous and silly in that episode. So, all right, so we're seeing this Takaran guy who's getting toward this sun to test this metaphasic shielding, which is cool. And actually, we'll get there, but I think when they did I read when they did the visual effects for this, they were using actual NASA footage for what a star's corona might look like. So I think that's really cool.
Well, that is interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't show something with Worf being uncomfortable with another Klingon on the bridge.
You know what's interesting? So I was reading in the TNG Companion by Larry Nemechek about it, and I think originally they wanted to have more of a role for Worf in the episode, but they had a lot of rewrites and it didn't quite work, something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probable that he was very uncomfortable, but where this is being told from Beverly, like directly, you know, so
yeah.
she
So
probably wouldn't focus on that
here's
part.
something interesting. It says in the Companion it actually started as a Worf vehicle done in 40s black and white film noir style. That would have been weird.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
so. But anyway, they decided to make it quite different than that. I mean, although there are the flashbacks, which you see in noir, but
Is that my phone or your phone?
My computer.
Oh.
no, there's a little ding that he's near the corona.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, he's ready.
Yeah.
It's like a microwave.
Or someone who just walked into a store, like walked into a hotel. Ding, ding.
What's going on, Mr. Dent? Sensors indicated increased level of
Yeah.
barium particles in the cabin.
So things aren't going right,
That's not possible.
and as we know from the later episode, he's just pretending that he's in some distress. But I like the subtitles that are like breathing heavily, gasping.
Right.
To just kind of imagine gasping again. So
And the video image is all grainy now. Cause he's
yeah,
so
they make
close
it
to the
grainy and
star.
it's just kind of offset a little bit, and that tells you that there's all this interference. They seem calm. I mean, it looks like the guy's gonna die, but they're
Well,
just
I
like,
mean,
oh,
he's
what's
not
going
part
on?
of their crew.
No, he's
So
a
they-
guest on their vessel.
We're losing him.
It happens.
Listen
ya.
to me.
Maybe they've seen so much death that they're
Well,
used to it.
Is this your first time watching Next Generation?
I'm talking about just in general, in the 24th century. Maybe there's a lot of deaths and they bring them back to life. I don't know.
Anyway, he eventually pilots the shuttle back.
The shuttle is emerging from the
Oh, there's Worf. Get a lock on him.
Get a lock on him as soon as you can.
He really doesn't do much, does he?
Mm-mm. He didn't even say anything, really.
The doubts of
Yeah, I
the
guess
others
not.
seemed justified. I had no idea what had gone wrong, or how seriously Dr. Jobrill had been
Self-induced
injured,
suicide.
but I knew this incident could destroy Rega's chance to be accepted by the scientific
He
community.
looks really disappointed, the Ferengi guy. Oh, that's right. He
20 cc's isopropyl.
says labored breathing. Different kind of breathing. Hey, man, he's dying. Don't make fun of that.
Is he really?
Cortical stimulators.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
well,
I know,
okay
right?
later. But yeah,
Where's Nurse
in the end,
Marquez?
yeah. Nurse Marquez.
I don't see Nurse Marquez. Where is he?
Now,
Do you see him? No.
No,
He's of
just
course he's
Ogawa
gonna
pressure.
die. He's not there.
again.
Raspy breathing. Oh,
Now,
that's
yeah, it's not labored anymore.
That's another description.
So magically, things always stick to everyone's foreheads, no matter who they were designed for and being used on.
And I wondered in the makeup, like, how'd they get it to like stick on like that? Maybe they had
Crazy
just like
glue?
little underside of crazy glue. Maybe just rip it off.
Crazy glue.
Long gasp, and then
The Craggle.
he's gone.
Craggle, yes.
So, yeah, that didn't go well. And back to Guinan and Beverly talking about what happened.
So that was my first
Yeah,
experience.
And she's
she
still
was a
packing her
scientific diplomat.
little
Failure.
cases. It always amazes me how small the luggage cases are in TNG. Like in Captain's Holiday, you see Picard take like this little cylindrical thing. It's like, do you really have everything for your vacation?
You know what they should probably do is like miniaturize and then put it all into your case, like all your clothes. And
Maybe you
all
don't
your
need
gear
as
and
much
all
if you
that.
can replicate something at your destination, right?
When you send some
Yeah, but I mean, it's not the same when you have the original whatever and you can just replicate all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I would.
Don't be too hard on yourself.
What are those?
What you say
Yeah, she has
Is
little
that
masks
paper?
in the back. I don't know what that is. Oh, now we get to see the Takaran's chest. So they had to do
And now
like,
he's
blue
green.
and green.
Yeah, but the green is much more green.
Is that what he
than
looks
on
like?
his
He's
face.
dead.
Because Joe Brill's anatomy
I don't
was
know.
unlike any I'd encountered. And I've run
So
into
now they're
some
just standing in
unusual
sick bay.
specimens.
Talking.
How's it going?
I've never run into a humanoid species.
And
like
of course,
this before.
Crusher is
His
baffled.
internal
No
physiology
discrete
is
organs. Now that's kind of an interesting
Doesn't seem to
concept.
have
Like
discrete
there aren't
organs
really
in some
separate organs.
traditional
Things are
sense.
just equally
Practically
distributed. It's an
every
interesting
system
idea.
is equally distributed
3
throughout the body.
hearts.
Yeah, which is
That
a little
kind of
odd.
physiology should make it
Stacked,
incredibly
stacked on
resistant
top
to
of each
nature.
other.
Right?
Whatever
Yeah.
killed him must have occurred at the cellular
I don't know. Klingons have duplicate stuff inside.
level. No.
But aren't they on the right side and left side?
Massive system-wide failure.
I don't know.
What for Klingons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've really seen all of that, but I think it's been talked about.
Okay, so now there's no apparent cause of death. So it wasn't like radiation poisoning. It wasn't.
What is that implement? That looks odd. This little
That's odd.
like flashy thing. With a
Looks like a
stick.
can opener.
Yeah. Your can opener lights up with LEDs.
I know, right? Mine does it.
So is this actually like a little bit off of sick bay? So they're like doing. She does an autopsy there, or do they have a? Because I
There
think
is a
later they
separate
show
morgue.
a morgue. Yeah, but for the
Yeah,
first
'cause
time, but
Because she says, take him to the morgue.
Mm-hmm.
So not him, but
You're doing it for Dr. Rager.
what's his name?
The Joe Burrell.
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you mean?
You're the loneliest
So
person
so obviously the morgue and sick bay aren't the same place, which would make sense.
Yeah, I hope it's not part of sick bay. That'd be.
Well, I bet you in Enterprise it would have been. They wouldn't have thought out to put 2 different rooms in such a small ship.
That's true. But it seems like they, I don't know, set it aside somewhere where you can't usually see it.
Put them in the freezer over there on the other side of the room.
Yeah, just move all the hamburgers to this side of the freezer and put the person over there.
Oh boy.
Cover it with a towel so no one sees.
And it's not replicated on the NX one.
No, they actually had to carry hamburgers.
That's right.
They make hamburgers, yeah. So now they're looking at the shuttle. Shuttle Jessman, which I think is named after producer Robert Jessman.
It is.
Must have been fun to be working on a show and be like, I want my name on this shuttle.
Yeah, we'll put it there.
Yeah.
Is that carpet up on the top?
It's a good question, is it?
Looks it.
It kind of looks like it is. Huh. I wonder if we wouldn't have been able to see that if it wasn't remastered. It looks like carpet texture.
I'm unable to locate any
Let's lower the resolution.
All systems are operating according to your design
I
specifications.
never noticed that. All right, so they're looking at the shuttle. They don't know what's going on.
anything wrong?
No, I don't
Now we're standing in the most generic area of the entire ship.
I found microcrystalline damage.
Watch out for barrels.
That's in the barrel cargo bay.
Were the levels high enough to cause damage to organic tissue?
I don't know. Perhaps there was an unexpected interaction between the solar radiation and the metaphasic
It's very
shield.
indignant that
No, that's not
anything could go
possible.
wrong.
Well, he's definitely acting more Ferengi-ish
Anticipated
now.
every contingency.
Then maybe Joe Brill
Like,
ran
yeah, he's got that sneer on his face. Before he was like smiling, like happy science, and now he's like, "You've offended me." Forgot my laser whip.
Was because he was so disappointed. Everything he worked for, hoped
You will
for,
not start a union.
slipping away. And that made what I had to do
All right, so now
next.
she's talking to the other scientists that are presumably
I'm sure
still
you all
alive.
understand that in light of what happened, I think it would be inappropriate to continue further testing. Perhaps if Dr. Ray
I always find the terms interesting. Metaphasic. Somebody thought about that. That sounds like a cool shielding technology. Metaphasic.
If I could have
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
more time to investigate.
It's not just phasic,
I know
it's
I can find what
metaphasic.
went wrong.
But that won't bring back Joe Brill, will it?
I do not believe the shield will ever work. It's very
So it's interesting. Even at this point, I get the feeling that everyone doesn't believe it won't work. They just all want to develop it themselves.
Whom do you propose we sacrifice?
You think that's what the Vulcan scientist is
I think
thinking?
everyone. Yeah.
Everyone. Yeah.
I'm sorry. As chief
Well, the
medical
like the
officer,
division
I'm
is kind of
responsible for
interesting.
health and
So
safety.
she's a Vulcan scientist.
I will not
Is
authorize
she
any further
like part of a
tests.
Federation Science Institute or something, or Vulcan Science Academy, or
I think they said she's
Prove myself.
she's in the
they
Vulcan
do
Science
mention
Academy
Vulcan
in the
Science
beginning, right?
Academy, right? Which I think is
Couldn't help but
maybe one of the
admire
only
his tenacity.
references to that in
Just
TNG.
wasn't going
But
to
yeah,
accept defeat.
but like, do they like how do they collaborate? How do they do things separately from other Federation
That was the
members? I
last
don't know.
time I saw him
Patrick, did you
Oh,
just
he's
say
dead.
that? Oh no!
Rega's dead.
Surprise!
I liked him.
Now, what were you saying?
Lab 4 when the
Richard?
Did you say that they're trying to capitalize on making it for themselves? Is that what you're trying to say to me versus working collaboratively as a collective?
Correct.
Is that what you're trying to tell me? Oh, okay.
Although I don't know why that was such a big deal.
Perhaps someone just wanted it to look that
Yeah,
way.
isn't it odd he was still holding the phaser that killed him when he fell down? Yeah. That's weird.
Worf is incomplete. He's like, maybe he just grabbed tighter when he got shocked.
Maybe he's just-
Oh, he does talk. There
yeah,
you
he
go.
does have a few.
He does have a
lines
few lines here, but here's the thing: if it works the way that Worf is letting it off, like it's an electric shock, you would absolutely end up with it tight in your hand.
I wouldn't know.
I would. Trust me. When you get electrocuted, you grab things. Well, your muscles close.
I'm just messing with you, dude. I know you're electricity, dude.
I knew it would be Captain Picard.
I've had it happen. It sucks.
I was with him right before he died. He was not suicidal.
I can't remember the last time I got electrocuted.
That's a good thing.
Well,
It was in Iraq, that's for
there's
sure.
probably a
Mine-
difference between I get electric shocks every day, but that's different than electrocution, which sounds
Well,
bad.
technically speaking, electrocution only happens if you die. So I guess I never had that happen.
Okay, so you've had that's like a strong electric shock. Thank
Yes.
goodness, not stronger than that.
Electrified.
If that's true, then someone else killed him.
Tuesday, in fact, but
Not yet.
What? Just
Let me
this past
guess.
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
this past Tuesday, yeah.
Wow. No autopsy. Now, this is an interesting thing they throw in here that somehow Ferengis have this death ritual. And, I think later in DS9 we find out that they don't necessarily have a ritual. They just vacuum pack their remains and sell them.
Yeah, it's completely off continuity there, but okay.
Yeah, but I think I saw somebody trying to explain it like, well, maybe they'll do something a little bit different because he's committed suicide and it's disgraceful or something, or because he wasn't making profit. Who knows? But it does seem to conflict. But I guess they have to do that to move things along.
Well, yeah, the story ends in 5 minutes. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't, because she could have just done the autopsy. She finds nothing.
Right, because eventually when she breaks that and does the autopsy, it's like, oops, I found nothing, and they're going to be pissed.
Yeah, the only reason why they have to do this is it's the only reason. Otherwise, the whole point of her talking to Guinan doesn't make sense. Because
Right.
if they didn't do this and she just did the autopsy, then we could have just watched this as a regular episode.
Yeah. But Ogawa here is just like, yep, I'm with you. Let's find out what's going on. I don't care if we're not supposed to. So
It's a lot of baby powder.
It was a lot of baby powder.
yeah, were they trying to make it look frozen or something?
Yeah. It is cold storage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's the hammer?
But you would think that they would have like a stasis versus freezing them. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't damage the body anyway.
The feeling that I get is like if you're putting someone in the morgue and it's something temporary, maybe it's cold storage, but stasis is for something longer. Or
But
if you
wouldn't-
want to go ahead.
But even when we found out in Deep Space Nine, some people can be. Well, obviously we're not in Deep Space Nine, but
It's going on
I mean,
at the
like,
same time.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Okay, thank you. So, like, when what's that Vedic that died?
Bareil?
Was it Bareil? Yeah, Bareil. They were saying that he can be in stasis for weeks, months,
Oh,
or
that's
even
true.
years,
Yeah,
so-
you can keep someone in stasis for a long time until you find some way to figure out
Heal.
what goes wrong. So here's Beverly talking to the human in Vulcan.
Subspace technology. But since it wasn't successful, it is
So this conversation annoys me because she says something about like killing him wouldn't be logical, and it most certainly would be logical.
If your end goal was to take the technology and do something with it, sure.
Right.
Well, she was close to it too,
Yeah.
or at least that's the narrative when they were talking about it. It's like she was close to getting or making this metaphasic shielding,
Yeah.
and of course it piqued her interest.
Well, as Spock says, logic is the beginning of wisdom, not the end.
And she would no longer be the preeminent expert in this field if this had happened, which to me is perfectly logical to murder somebody over. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but
no. But well, of course, that's the thing. I think we find out various times in Star Trek, you can use logic to justify just about anything.
Yep, especially for Vulcan. Is there something you're not telling me? Uh-oh.
No, meaningful look. it's nothing, but I did tell you about this one thing here.
I was hiding this for the last 20 minutes.
Wasn't in the subtitles.
It was that Klingon.
Go talk to them. They get mad at everything.
Yeah.
Rega came in and they got into and
I like how in this next scene she's like, Klingons make threats as as a matter of course, but sometimes they follow through.
Yeah.
to shout at one another.
I know everyone's acting suspicious.
That Rega had insulted her honor, and no Klingon would stand for that.
Yes, because Klingons are so honorable that they lie through their teeth all the time.
Spoken in the heat of anger.
The warrior class, that is.
Passionate, but not a killer.
Doctor, neither are we.
Like, all right.
His whole demeanor changes when he says neither are we, by the way.
Yeah. Well, they're deliberately trying to make them seem a little... to try to throw you off to what's really going on.
Was that Jellicoe that went by?
What are you talking about?
Will you stop finding things in this episode that no one else sees?
The guy had gray hair and everything. I thought it was Jellicoe.
Oh, yeah, because every guy with gray hair is Jericho.
Yeah, like he's just visiting after coming by for chain of command.
He was stopping for a cup of tea.
He doesn't strike me as someone that drinks tea.
Who drinks tea? What?
Jellicoe.
Well, yeah, no, but who strikes you as someone who would drink tea? Not Picard. Not Picard. Okay, better question. What qualities does someone have if they're a tea drinker?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Jellicoe more a beer drinker? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right. Well, Jellicoe does not appear in this episode. I'm pretty sure of it.
Unless he walked by the corridor there just a moment ago.
We will never know.
I'm just amazed at like how different this character is than like Rachel Garrett, who she played before. It's quite something.
I actually could see that.
Yeah.
Her face. That is.
I can see it, but like the whole demeanor, and I don't think I ever really picked up on it before.
That was a rough shove.
Yeah.
It was a rough shove.
And Beverly, I give her props. She just stood up right back to her like, shove me again.
Oh, no.
What? Do that again. I dare you. She doesn't really say that. But her face does. Yeah.
It's pretty great.
You have to throw me a lot harder than that if you want to.
Good thing you're dealing with a Klingon scientist and not a warrior, or you'd be dead where you stand.
What did he accuse you of?
She backs away a little bit. It didn't look like it.
Didn't appear that way.
Yeah.
It went too fast for that. Yeah.
Could have been. Either way, Beverly gets up and wants more.
She's pretty fierce in this episode. She's going to find the truth.
Yeah,
right?
she's ready to rumble.
Yeah.
I did not.
And then this woman just goes back and starts staring at the scans again. Like,
yeah, at first I was like, is she going to order from the replicator?
Tea. Oh, great. Hot. I don't. She doesn't strike me as a tea drinker either.
No, she's getting a rectogeno.
And now she realizes, wow, I almost died.
She's like, oh boy, this is dangerous. But let's keep going.
The adrenaline wore off.
Definitely should have stayed on the floor.
And for everything I'd been through, I didn't have.
Was that Jellicoe too? Oh no, that was a woman.
That was Nurse Ogawa.
She's back in her lab just contemplating.
There is a bunch of just staring off into space in this episode, huh?
There's a lot of thinking going on.
There is.
All right, you're making a decision.
With the narrative in the background.
Oh, that's right. This is where she does the autopsy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is where I have made my decision. I'm gonna slice and dice.
Yeah. What is that? Like, it's like a trash, like a half of a trash can or something?
And why is it there? Every time it opens, it pulls back anyway. We could avoid that by just not having it there at all.
I don't know. It's interesting. Oh, so she put him back?
Well, she's already done the autopsy now.
Okay. I don't know why I thought Ogawa was there for the autopsy, but... Picard's quarters.
I love that picture that's in the background.
It's pretty great.
Me too.
And I love his desk. I want that desk.
I like his desk too, yeah.
Jean-Luc, I want to tell you something.
I did an autopsy.
But you're not going to like it.
Oh, and he has that disappointed... I'm surprised he didn't do a facepalm here.
Yeah.
But he kind of, it is Beverly, and I probably kind of expected it, that she would do that with her curiosity at the way it is.
Yeah, that could be.
Sorry, I know I shouldn't have done it.
But he is pretty stern with her. Most certainly should not.
Yeah, but like everything else in Star Trek, unless you're in Discovery, apparently, you can just defy orders all over the place, and eventually you find the answer, and you're okay.
Yep. Steal ships and all that.
Yeah, who cares? That's a court-martialable offense, but we're not going to bother.
Well, you know, at least in Star Trek 4, they saved the Earth, so that kind of made it okay.
Yeah, you get a pardon for that.
Yeah.
But they destroyed the Enterprise and brought back a Klingon warbird.
Yeah, but they saved Earth. Anyway, that's different. So having a little conversation.
And I'm prepared to accept the consequences.
Prepared to accept the consequence. So he just nods. What are the consequences?
What do you tell somebody at that point? I mean,
yeah. Well,
all right.
Done is done.
Yeah, you did it.
And that was almost the hardest part of all. So that's the story. That's how I ended my career.
This is my favorite part of the episode, by the way. What? After all of that, Guinan just looks at her and goes, backhand volley. And she's like, are you kidding me right now? I'm telling you how I'm being thrown out of Starfleet, and you're telling me about a tennis game? She goes, what, you're upset? But you're still sitting here talking to me, right?
Right.
Stop crying and get out there.
You're upset. Why are you moping around here? Why don't you do something about it?
I've done everything.
Would fired be the appropriate word?
Yeah, I think she's out of Starfleet. Well, she's
Yeah, but
supposed to be, right?
But it's more of a military.
Yes.
Dishonorably discharged? I don't
Yeah,
know.
she'd be discharged, or discharged at least. Maybe
Relieved
not
of duty,
dishonorably.
and I like that. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, relieved of duty makes sense. But even if she was discharged, if she was tossed from the military, it would be other than honorable discharge. But
Yeah. So, but yeah, Guinan is great at really convincing people to kind of trust their instincts and keep doing what they should be doing.
Stardate 46830.1.
All right, so I'm relieved of duty, but I'll put in my uniform and ask people about stuff.
yeah, well, if she walks around in uniform, less people who don't know what's going on would pay attention.
Data would know what's going on, but
Data would, but she's getting around the hallways. She doesn't want to be stared at by all the regulars.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't that the weirdest thing in his hand too?
Yeah, what is that?
It's like a
toy.
It's like a puzzle box.
Expect him to get like his finger stuck in there.
Yeah, or he's trying to get like his dollar bill back. I forget which one I have to push next.
I've never noticed some of these things.
See? That's why you have us here.
Well, that's why we're doing a commentary. Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely carpeting.
It is, isn't it? Dang,
It
I never
is.
noticed that. I'm always going to notice the carpeting.
That is correct.
It looks like shag carpeting.
No, it's not shag carpeting. It's got to be thin. Look, it doesn't look shaggy.
There's the name of the episode, Shag, Shuttle, Carpeting.
You really need to get an interior designer in here.
Yeah. Anyway, they're doing all kinds of, discussion and techno-babble stuff to see what's going on. I kind of forgot how they figure it out.
Oh, that's right. Lee was the one that freaking was pointing out the carpet on the bottom of the, and all that. And I never realized, thinking about the carpet of the Enterprise. Look at that. That is carpet.
Well,
Look
this
at
is
that, right
in,
above her
in a
head.
shuttle, right? Where it's on the side and the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the top. But it's definitely carpeting. But so is kind of, your car has felt and stuff up there.
No, that's the same stuff that's on my basement floor.
You bought your stuff from Enterprise?
Shh. So I was too busy looking at the carpeting, but I guess she picked up something from Data, right? Here's
Right.
Riker.
And she tells him I can't say that in a nice
leave
way,
tomorrow.
but buzz off.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, whatever, I'm leaving tomorrow. Yep, of course.
Thank you.
I'm telling you this is a friend, and I'm telling you stay away because I'm getting myself in more trouble.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Don't do anything foolish. And he grabs her by the arm. I don't know if I like that. He's like, listen to me.
Well, at least you don't see him grabbing her shoulders and making her turn like he does with Troy sometimes.
Well, they have
he does do that, right?
bit more history, but yeah, that's true.
It's going to be that much harder on you.
Thank you, Commander. Your concern is noted.
Beverly.
At least it's not violent. It's
It's
like
not,
subtle.
but it is kind of like a dominating move where it's like, hey, I'm going to move your arm over here so you can talk to me and listen to me. And
Yeah, it's bad. It's not. I don't know if it's bad. It's not the best, but he would be her superior if she still had a job.
That's true, but I don't think
And
she
he's
should
trying to
do
get in close to tell her, again, not make it obvious to all the lower deck crew what's really going on.
that. Okay, here's the part I was thinking about before, where Ogawa helps her out. Because
Oh yeah,
her
she's like all about
access
getting
is
the
denied.
autopsy aisles.
Yeah,
The autopsy files. Sorry,
aisles of autopsies. Yeah.
aisles of autopsies.
Here, I'll go.
I was close. I just left out the part.
Yeah, and I guess even though she's a nurse and an ensign, she has the access to the autopsy files.
It's autopsy files. It would make sense.
Yeah, I guess so, because she works.
And not to mention, she's the only one in there right now.
Apparently,
So-
all of her other staff is there at other times. Like Dr. Solar. Why can we see Dr. Solar in this episode?
And where's Nurse Marquez?
You're
On a
going to be
different
asking
shift.
that whole episode there, Rich.
I know he's not in this one.
Look at those buttons in the back. That looked more like a 1970s panel.
Let's do it.
All right, so going back to look at the body. Now there's
Rule
that
of thumb,
tool
if something
again.
moves, there's a blue light
Oh.
on it.
There's a can opener.
Yeah.
It's got an LED panel on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very weird.
We need to run a tissue scan.
I don't know. They may have picked it up at a store somewhere, because sometimes for some of the props and things, they would just like repurpose stuff they found at stores.
You know that actually looks like a GoPro session.
So they went to the future. They got a GoPro. They took it
To go
back
back
and modified
to make
it.
a show about the future. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that does look like a GoPro.
Tetrions. Always Tetrions.
Someone did sabotage the shield.
That's a possibility.
Then she's trying to walk her back. She's like, it's very circumstantial evidence. Just
She's like,
don't
something's
run
going
with that.
on.
I don't know why I helped you. Just don't run with that.
Nope, there's Jay in the background. Yep.
Hey, look, Troy.
Oh, Troy's here. There we go.
Hey, in uniform.
My favorite
too.
Troy in the regular uniform.
Yeah, she missed all of the important parts.
She's
where
like,
she would
oh,
have
what?
been helpful.
Did something happen? Was there a flashback?
Sorry, I was sleeping.
Is that her real hair, or did they put like extensions in her hair? Because that doesn't look natural, does it?
I don't know. I honestly don't think about people's hair. I know people talk a lot about hair on Star Trek, but I never think about it.
Yeah, I don't really either. But so it is 93, so the 80s fashion is already gone. So I don't know what's going on with that hair.
Yeah. Unscheduled launch. I mean, apparently she's, been relieved of duty, but she can still access a shuttle. Okay.
Just not files from sickbay.
Yeah. They gotta work on their security. There's all kinds of unscheduled launches and
Constantly. Like these are the most easy. It's
Easy
really
to
easy to
compromise
hotwire.
systems,
It's easy to hotwire a shuttle pod in the future.
It's not a car.
You would think it's off, and you wouldn't have the codes to turn it on. I mean, if I get fired from my job, they take my pass away before I leave the building.
Or
Yeah.
they take it before they even tell you you're fired.
That's another good one, yeah. On Friday afternoon.
yeah. So they're calmly trying to figure out what happens as she heads to her death toward a sun. But that imagery is really cool.
It is
Anyway.
cool.
Oh, now she's all fuzzy.
Yep, that means there's interference. When it looks like a TV set from the 70s with interference on it. Just adjust those rabbit ears.
Yep. Tilt the Enterprise 10 degrees. Tilt the whole Enterprise. Get that second nacelle a little higher.
I think Dr. Rager was right about his shield.
She's really confident. She's just going to bet her life on this when it's like 2 million degrees outside of her shuttle. Dang.
Yeah, that's a little excessive, right? I'm absolutely positive you get in the shuttle pod and go.
She feels really strongly that proving this technology will help against the Borg in a few episodes in Descent. That's what it is.
Oh, no. Oh, that doesn't happen in this scene? Oh, sorry.
Beverly, what's happening?
I look very concerned. Hey, it works. I'm not gasping.
At least they're more concerned now than when the guy actually died, or they thought he actually died.
Mm-hmm. Hey, spoilers.
Well, they've known her longer. She's a main character. Of
You
course, they're
called
going
a
to care
spoiler
more.
now. We've been saying it all episode.
I'm talking about
Sorry,
Jabril.
listeners. We're assuming you've already seen this episode.
Yeah,
and
no, we
know
mentioned that
he's
he
not
died,
dead.
like when he
I
didn't.
know.
No, he's not dead yet.
We have lost contact.
That is true.
He's dead right now.
He does die in this episode.
Yeah, he does. Oh. There's the compartment.
Does it ever bother anyone that in these shows the compartment's always open with nobody's hand anywhere near them?
Just have it's like a garage door opener. It's just
the
opener's inside the box or something.
The shuttle garage door opener.
Yeah. So here's this Takaran guy who can apparently fake being dead.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Because you can slow it down.
These Takarans are actually really interesting because, they can slow down their physiology, and as we'll see here, they can take like a giant phaser hit with a hole in them and still...
Well, see, now I took that... I wanted to talk about that because I took that as he gets a big hole in his stomach, right, in a moment. Yeah. But it seems like she had it like set to stun when she shot him. That burns a hole through him that doesn't kill him, but then she sets it to kill and he vaporizes. Like it seems like very low power, big hurt. Very high power,
very
gone.
Sensitive physiology.
Yeah, very weird.
But does it? I don't know if it's set to stun. Maybe it's set to something.
It could be
between like stun in the highest setting.
It could be because he's going to shoot her. It's likely he would kill her, right?
It's set to buckshot.
And he doesn't. And I wonder about these levels because there's like kill and there's like vaporize, which is like level 16 or something.
Well, she probably goes to 16, right?
I'm guessing.
On the second
shot. It's buckshot, dude. Otherwise, he'd be gone all the way through. If there's a hole inside of him, it would have to be a buckshot.
It's a through and through.
That's what I'm saying. Versus vaporize, where it destroys him. All.
No, but that does happen right afterwards.
All right, so she got the drop on him, and the shuttle's careening into the sun.
Yes. And then they're rolling around.
Fighting.
I wonder if you can land on that on the sun with the
metaphasic shielding.
I don't think so.
I doubt it.
Probably. Although they
what a nice kick.
Roundhouse
spinning
kick.
Roundhouse heel kick.
And then she hits him.
Right, look, big hole in stomach.
There's a hole in him.
Through clothes and everything.
That's crazy.
Right, but now
buckshot, dude.
But now wait.
I'm really pissed off now.
Wait.
She turns it up and then
vaporize.
Yeah.
That's got to be like level 14 or something like that.
But I'm trying to think, like, is that the first time you see Beverly kill someone as opposed to just stunning them?
I don't know, but she's pretty
Wait, are you talking about purposely or in her sickbay?
No, purposely, like shooting at them.
She's Richard, purposely. She doesn't kill that many people in sickbay. And it's not like she's killing people. She gets some really tough cases, okay?
Yeah, wait a second. Hold on.
They're practically dead when they come to her.
They don't show up with a paper cut and leave in a body bag. She's not doing odd experiments to people.
It's not her fault that she's in the 6 seasons with the toughest cases. All right, so they figured out what was going on, and the metaphasic shielding is cool. She's been reinstated.
And everyone just believes her story when she gets back with no body as evidence.
Mm-hmm. Well, surely they have a security camera in the shuttle that can show them what happened, right?
No, because then we would have seen he wasn't really dying, right?
It's true.
But no. In the shuttle before, he was gasping and he fell down after he set the controls. I don't think.
So, what is the point of changing the angle of a racket?
Because it had to be the future.
I don't know. Tennis rackets are sensitive, but like it and
then look, it has 4 little rubber things that make all the vibration go away.
Yeah,
and no strings. So that's racquetball, not tennis. By the way,
I'll take your word for
tennis ball.
I don't play tennis.
Cool.
Take my word. Wait, you don't know that racquetball is played with paddleball instead of rackets?
No, I've never played either one.
You had to have seen it on a movie or something.
All right.
Maybe, but I don't pay attention to that.
That was the episode. So, of course, we had a lot of fun with it again.
Yeah, we did.
But what do you guys think after watching it in this commentary? Patrick?
Oh, I love this episode. I like anything that revolves around Beverly Crusher, hence the naming of my daughter. But also, she really shows herself to be tough. She stands up to a Klingon. She roundhouse kicks Jabril, and then blows a hole through him and vaporizes him without even hesitating. So, and she has a lot of tenacity to go after this as long as she did and not give up on something she really believed in. So, I really like it. I really enjoy the episode, and I like the way they portray her through this episode.
Awesome. So, question on that. Favorite Beverly episode? This one? A different one?
It's probably this one.
Nice. Yeah. Are you kidding? It's not Sub Rosa? I mean, really, there aren't too many Beverly-centered episodes. There's Sub Rosa, there's Suspicions, there's The Host. Attached, I guess, but that's more her and Picard. But she doesn't really get that many where she's the real focus. So
no, that's really it. I mean, I would count Attached, even though Picard's there too, because it's they're like co-centers.
Yeah.
So
what are your thoughts, Richard?
I love how excited we all got when she roundhouse kicked it.
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I actually like this episode. Before we even thought to have Patrick onto this episode, I actually watched it, and I really like this episode. I really do. So despite she's a crusher, but like,
come on, you can't hate the whole family. Do you hate Jack Crusher too? Come on.
I don't hate Jack Crusher. Okay. I don't have anything to go against him.
Well, he was half of the creation of Wesley.
Yeah.
Good point. Thank you, Patrick. So yes, I hate him too.
No, you don't hate Jack and Beverly. You hate the combination of the two together.
So now you can Beverly again because Jack's gone, and that's all Picard's fault.
I half like them. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
but I really like this episode. I actually like doing these commentaries because you see a lot more, and it's like the episode, and it's just talking about it. It's like, oh yeah, we would have probably never thought about the carpet up on the ceiling, or Jellicoe going by, or the Cardassian freaking pad on the desk. So yeah, I kind of like doing these commentaries.
Awesome. So of course they're like, why is the Klingon and the Vulcan and the human seem so suspicious, and then you don't see them after that? Like, what was their deal? Do they really just want to take the technology?
I think
probably.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
I think while they didn't actually have a hand in killing him, I think they were happy. Not that they were happy, but now they thought of it as, okay, now it's my chance.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone. Yeah. I can use it.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed Suspicions as well. I think it's a really great Beverly episode. When you get past it's weird that she's having a scientific conference. It doesn't have to do with medicine. I mean, it's really strong for her. She gets to really pursue something that she believes in and get to the bottom of a mystery and really be the hero. She's the hero of this episode, really. So it's very cool. And I'm glad you suggested it, Patrick.
So, Patrick, where can people find you on the internet?
All right. So they can find me on the network at Warp 5 and on the Edge. Warp 5, I'm with Brandy and Brandon, and the Edge, I'm with Amy, who you can also find here, obviously. You can also find me on Twitter at MagicDrop5. It's one word, but the 5 is a number. And you can find me hanging around the Babel conference from time to time.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks so much for coming on to Earl Grey again. We always enjoy having you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love coming on, and I love doing commentaries with you two, so that worked out well.
Awesome.
But one of these days we'll have Amy with us too.
Yeah, we should try that. I mean, she hasn't done any commentaries with us. If it was the four of us, what would that be like?
That would be fun. I think that would be fun.
It'd have to be a Troy episode.
Ooh. Let's do Ensign Rowe. Or wait, what's that one that she...
Well, we'll have to... No. You don't want to do the one with Rowan Riker. Come on, Richard. We'll think about it. Maybe we'll come up with something for that. I have to think about it.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be Troy centralized, so we'll see.
Awesome.
Well, it's been so much fun providing a commentary for the episode Suspicions, but that isn't the only thing we've been talking about here on the network. Here's what you might have missed elsewhere on Trek FM.
Previously on Trek.fm. To the journey!
Do you have to have the stick to be the grand proxy?
The scepter?
Yeah. I see it as a walking stick.
Is that supposed to be the Grand Negus's scepter? Like, is that the actual one?
Oh my
gosh. It's a replica, of course, but is it supposed to be the actual one?
I don't know, but what it reminds me of totally is Old Biff from Back to the Future, Old Biff, yes. With his cane that he hits people on the head with. That is totally it.
Hello! McFly!
Think.
Standard Orbit.
People are coming over and they're introducing people to him, and it's my turn. And he goes, Steve, Jimmy, I want you to meet the host of the convention. This is Stephen Last. And he goes, pleased to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you, Mr. Doohan. And he goes, hi, Steve. Nice to meet you. It's like, what? You mean you don't talk like that?
The 602 Club.
In particular, I noticed that the most with either Elastigirl or Violet, because it's sort of like you and I were talking about before the show, Helen, Elastigirl, really shows that she's Elastigirl not only in what she does as a superhero, but in showing the things that a regular mom has to deal with, whether you're a single mom or, a big family. It's something that traditionally they're trying to show that a parent goes through.
Warp 5.
Right, because Frankenstein himself, it doesn't really mistreat the monster, right? They've got him locked up, chained up and whatnot, right? Because they don't know what to do with him, I guess. Now that I've made this corpse, well, now what, right? It's not like a puppy.
Never
right?
thinking about the end game. Just like all those, master villains. It's like, yeah, you rule the world, and then what?
Right.
And that's what else is happening on Trek.fm.
Check out all these shows and join the conversation about your favorite corner of the Star Trek universe and beyond. You'll find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you're an Apple user, be sure to hit the subscribe button in Apple Podcasts on iPhone, iPad, or Apple TV, or the desktop iTunes app to get the latest episodes as soon as they're published. And please leave us a star rating and written review. That helps others to find the show.
If you're not an Apple user, we've got you covered as well. You can find our shows on Google Play Music, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spreaker, SoundCloud, Windows Phone, in most third-party apps, and you can stream and download the MP3 file from our website or grab the RSS link.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's show, and there are many ways for you to do that. The best place to join in the larger conversation is the Babel Conference, our listeners group on Facebook. Just type Babel, B-A-B-E-L, into the search field on Facebook, and it should come right up.
If you'd like to send us an email, you can use the form on our website at Trek.fm or Trek.fm/contact. Choose to send to a show and select Earl Grey. That will come straight to us, and we might read your email on the show. You can also find the network on Twitter at TrekFM and on Facebook at facebook.com/TrekFM. So, Justin, where can people contact you when you're not cosplaying as a Ferengi scientist?
Well, I'll have to think about that. He has some muted tones. I may want some way to indicate I'm a Ferengi scientist with the more colorful Ferengi clothing. Maybe.
You got to sharpen those teeth first.
And make them crooked. Yeah,
you go.
They must have some little implement they put in their mouth. It's weird. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at TrekFan4747, where I tweet about nothing but Star Trek. Currently tweeting out my Season 5 rewatch of The Next Generation. And you can find me hanging around the Babel Conference on Facebook. So, Richard, where can people contact you when you're not creating metaphasic shielding over 300 years ahead of schedule?
300 years ahead of schedule?
Yeah, The Next Generation says it's going to happen in 2368, something like that.
I don't know. There's a lot of stars I want to visit. Well, you guys can find me on Facebook. I pop in here and there on the Babel Conference, talking smack about Wesley Crusher, as you already heard. But I'm also on Twitter. My handle is xransom.
Is it just your mission to knock Wesley down every episode? Just got to know.
Do you not see my shirt?
I know, you shut up, Wesley shirt. All right. Well, if you'd like to help us keep all our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/TrekFM. That's patreon.com/TrekFM to get all the details. Perks include early access to episodes, exclusive content, producer credits, and more, available through our special patrons website, The Patron Zone. It requires a great deal of money to produce, host, and distribute these shows each month. We really appreciate any support you can give us and hope you'll join the team. Again, you'll find all the details at patreon.com/TrekFM.
We'd like to take this opportunity to recognize our current associate producers, Norman Lau, Justin Ozer, Michael Huter, and Thomas Appel. Thank you for supporting Trek FM and as always, Earl Grey. So join us next time for another cup of Earl Grey.
I don't play tennis.
Today is a good day to die!